So, dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body, keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation practice can help for our inner development. So, if you look for your spiritual practice, if you look for your meditation practice, so here we give some basic information for yourself to develop. Because when you know that basic information, it will help you to have a very good foundation for your own practice. So you have to remember, this is a journey that you walk just by yourself. And like everything in life. But the thing is, as ordinary people, we always develop an attitude, a mindset, a passion to depend on things and depend on others. So today, I'm going to give some basic information for yourself to detach from that and how you can develop a self-development and very sustainable wisdom yourself to go in this spiritual path. Of course, having a community, having a sangha, and having teachings is very necessary. It is very important. But at the same time, you have to remember how much you understand by yourself, the way you practice yourself, the way you self-motivate is very important. So through this practice, we try to develop a very authentic and especially related to the Buddha's teaching. And according to the Dharma, how you can develop that clear path for yourself to get into a better position day by day, day by day. So in come to the position means having a mental clarity. So as you know, as human beings, we always need to be with other people. And we always like to develop a community. We depend on communication, we depend on community, but ultimately, you have to get into a communion. So the communion is the very method. Without any conversation, without any physical connection, you just mentally have a development. You mentally have a connection and gain some kind of wisdom and share some kind of wisdom. So if you don't have that mental development out of your community, then it's not going to become very successful lifestyle for you. So as you know, we live with people, and how you can know out of this your life, what you build. So this is the measurement. If there is no development, if there is no mental clarity, if there is no mental happiness with other people day by day, maybe you develop a cage. So when it comes to cage and circle, so as example, there are, you know, when you gather with the people, sometimes we say a circle. So the cage, if the community that you develop is not allow you to become a better person, that means out of that community you build up a cage. Out of that people you build up a cage. You shrink your mind. And if day by day, if each and everyone help and become better people, that's mean you develop a circle. So then be inspired and try to inspire other people around you to develop themselves. And that is where you can make a circle and uplift yourself. So then at the same time, you are responsible to have that. This inner mental circle, that means that as you know, there are the conscious, subconscious, that's the super consciousness that we have. And if you don't develop this all, we call unconsciousness. So when it comes to super consciousness, in that super consciousness, that you should have a thought circle or the mind circle that yourself to develop inbuilt ability to maintain by your own thoughts, uplift by your own thoughts rather than developing a cage by your own thoughts. So as example, sometimes our own habits, patterns, develop a cage. Our emotions sometimes come against us and hold us. And we can't go beyond the moment we experience because of our own thoughts. So then that means you already build a cage in you. So you develop an outside circle to uplift, and at the same time, remember, develop a thought pattern, develop a lifestyle yourself to have an inner circle. That inner circle means how you develop your thought circle. So when it comes to that, there are a few things that you have to have as qualities. So before we go into that qualities, to develop your inner circle, that one thing in day-to-day life you have to practice to be independent. Because as you know, we always depend from people, depend on things. So then, with your eye, we always look for something. So that means I depend on these outside things. And at the same time, if you look very carefully, these outside things, the most of the material things came to world. And it also deeply depend on your eye. So I depend on materials, material depends on I. So how that? It's like this. When someone create this cushion and that person make it look nice, and that person has a kind of like intention to make it look nice. So out of that, otherwise this material itself didn't come to this form like this. So somebody create, and in that very moment, that person thought about someone else I consciousness. And then now my eye always look for something beautiful. And so that means then I go to this, and also unconsciously, silently, this also depend on my eye, because this arise, somebody create this, somebody look for that to be attractive. So like that, when it comes to all the songs, poems, that, you know, the rhythm, why people create that, why people have that the rhythm or the vibration, or it's kind of like the, you know, the producers. So why they have kind of like a skill themselves to create some kind of music, to kind of, when you hear, it should feel you good. Otherwise, they don't need to create it like that. So then at the same time, when you hear it, you have the intention to look, hear something good, and at the same time somebody create it, it has that intention. So like that, with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, we look for all the objects, and at the same time there are most of objects waiting for our attention. So then, in day-to-day life, take a conscious decision yourself to close your eyes and not to look for something. It's a very conscious decision, and completely you detach the desire to look. So that means you've completely become free from seeing. So in that very moment, you release the current of this eye consciousness. So in that very moment, you create a gap to be free from the world. So and then you have to do it one by one. So in the beginning, you start with the eye. or you can start with the ear. You have completely conscious decision to not to listen to anything. Even though that the sound comes, there is no desire to listen to any sound. And with the nose, you take a very conscious decision not to look for any aroma or any smell. And with the taste the same, the feelings the same. And by the time, you can do it for the mind also. So once your awareness, once your conscious decision set up to settle down, and then in that very moment you see that being independent is a moment, giving you a moment of peace. Because unconsciously we always into outside, we look for something. As a person, we may depend on something, some other people's emotions and some things. But deeply, if you look very carefully, our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind deeply, unconsciously depend on objects. So try to get out of it and completely settle down in the moment. And remember, even though that in this life, we have many things, we have many people, we go through many ways, but end of the day, we have to deal with ourselves. You have to go this journey just by yourself. You can't take anybody with you. And in certain level, even you can't take the memory regarding other people sometimes. So then have you ever thought, so whatever you experience, whatever you hold, have you ever thought to release it for a moment? Maybe it can be the people, it can be our memory, it can be the things, it can be sometimes our skills. Are you capable to drop, when you take a conscious decision, are you capable to free from that? So that is a skill that you have to develop. So then when it comes to that freedom, if you look very carefully, rather than that freedom, rather than the circle, what happened? We develop a mental cage inside, conscious cage inside us. So that is where you kill your own creativity as a human being. You are capable to become more a better person, very new, brand new person for tomorrow. But just look yourself. No, you can't become like that. And the physically, that we have physical memory, and the physically maybe you keep repeating, but what I'm telling here, mentally, can you be completely a very new person for yourself? Maybe people like when they hear it, but they can't do it. Why? Because this inner repetition, they happen again and again and again. So for that, you have to practice with not this outside people or things. You have to practice with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So when you practice that, there are 4 things that you have to develop. So the one is with your eye, when you settle down, when you not look for outside things, even 5 minutes, can you close your eyes and just let it be there? Without any desire to look. Can you settle down for a moment and deeply settle down with your ear, even not look for the silence? Sometimes we we like to settle down with the silence. And sometimes when people come, they say, oh, it is very peaceful. It is so silence. I like it. Then I mentioned sometimes that is the mistake that you have, because you develop a cage in you with the silence. Because deeply you have the desire to look for silence that will disturb you. So that is the thing. Maybe that then we think, oh, I don't look for any sound, but you like silence. So then what does silence mean to you? No sound. So that means no sound means your silence depend on sound. Because what you mean by silence, you have to, that, when the sound is absent, there is your silence. No, that is not the silence. The silence means the whatever the sound it is there or not, you have no desire to go for that. That is a totally different way of silence. So then that way you can be with silence with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So that is noble silence. That there are pictures there, colors there, many objects around you, but when you close your eyes, even you open your eyes, even it is there, you have no desire to look for that. Then anything can appear in front of you, but it's not going to disturb you. So because when you have no desire, but the thing is, if you have the intention to have a very empty room, being kind of like if you are attached to being a kind of like an empty space, then maybe you think, oh, this lot of things will disturb you, this material things will disturb you. And maybe you very proudly, you may say, oh, I like very open, empty space. That may going to disturb you. Because you develop the cage inside being like to that open space. That openness depend on when the absence of the material is your open space. But that is not should be the open space. Your intention, you have no desire to go for any object, look for any object. That is where you feel comfortable. So now then you can get even regarding the smell. So, and even regarding the taste, even regarding the sensation or the feelings. It doesn't matter outside, it is there or not. But you have no intention to look for that. So then try to develop it day by day in whatever the things that you do every day. Develop it inside. So when you develop that, there are 4 things. One thing is being patient. With your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, be patient yourself. When the desire arises, don't agitate, don't try to encourage it. Be relaxed and be patient with that. So maybe your eyes want to open and see, be relaxed with it. And sometimes when I practice with children, our Sunday Dhamma school, and sometimes when we practice meditation, they open their eyes like this And I asked, why you do that? No, I want to open my eyes. And I asked, why you open? No, because I want to see. This see, that's how, that from childhood we learn that. Anything that happened unconsciously, and we look into that. Why? Because we want to see. And even something, when somebody explains something, and sometimes we say, let me see. It's not going to change anything, but you like to see. From where it comes? It's a deeper current. It's always in us. So that is what you slowly have to. So be patient. And yourself, when you have the desire to see, little bit, reverse yourself, void yourself, move back yourself. So that is the first thing. So you have to practice with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Even when you want to think about something, you drop back, you settle down, wait. Even when you practice meditation, sometimes that may be whatever you want to do tomorrow, or maybe next week, maybe whatever happened yesterday. There are a lot of things going on in our life, So, and mind is always try to think about that. We used to do that way. But now, be patient yourself. In this very moment, you practice meditation, be there with, and maybe whatever you do, so in that very moment, just be there. Wherever you are, be there. So that way, yourself, your mind will settle down. When you go to dinner, be there. They see nowadays there are, there people have a lot of difficulties with this cell phone, when they go to dinner, party, when they have a conversation, always other people go and, look at their cell phone, even in the family gathering. Now they can't take off, away their cell phone. Why? Because the mind always look for things. So then yourself, you take a conscious decision with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And so you have to be patient with that decision. And with that patience, then another thing is you have to add another ingredient to being patient. And that is kindness. You can't do it with the very aggressive mind. Don't do that. Even the good things, don't do with that. Okay? Even practicing meditation, even, do good things, even become generous. With the aggressive mind, don't perform that. Try to do with the kindness. So now you're trying to avoid, you trying to step back, you trying to reverse the desire, and being patient with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And at the same time, you have to have another quality, to being kind to yourself. So as an example, there is something in front of you and you want to see it is so beautiful, like that. You close your eyes, you settle down, and maybe you think for 5 minutes, so you develop being patient. And at the same time, being kind itself means that it's going to be good for you by the time. And it is not for your harm. It's nothing bad going to happen to you if you keep practice this way. That all the good qualities going to be there with you. And it will help you to uplift you. So that is another thing, the kindness you add, the being patient and the kindness. Another thing is you have to do it with the wisdom. Third quality, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. When you void, you have to do it with the wisdom. What does that mean? Before the Buddha, all the ascetics, yogis, they used to do, oh, don't look, it is bad. don't hear, it is bad. So that even with the culture, tradition, religion, sometimes we try to stay away from things, believing it is bad, and we think, oh, if I don't look it, I'm going to be okay. No. If you have the desire, maybe you don't look it, but just by yourself, in your own mind, in your own dream world, you can have anything. No, and you can live in your own kingdom. That is how who we are. We have our own kingdom. Sometimes we are the king or the queen in that kingdom, mental world. And we live in that dreams. But that doesn't mean you're going to develop that your spiritual path. You're going to be the same again and again and again. So get out of that mental world. So do it with the wisdom means. Recognize that this desire is the key. Because of our inner desires, we experience this all. Learn the mechanism, know the cause and effect, know the causation, dependent origination. Understand it properly. Develop your wisdom, and with the clear understanding, learn to practice things, learn to do things, not with the wrong understanding. So sometimes we say, oh, don't look because it is bad. Because of that, I don't look. That way, you can't get out of this world. Nate kama yani chitrani loke sankappa rago purisasa kama. That is what the Buddha said. There is nothing that you can say. Then in the outside world, there is a beauty or ugly or something like that. There's nothing exists in the outside world. It is inside you. So when you say something beautiful, another person can say it is ugly. So how it can happen? If this is beautiful, for everyone, for all the time, this should be beautiful, but it's not like that. Some people like it, some people say, oh, I don't like it. What is that? So like that, have the wisdom. Remember, just avoiding, stay away from things doesn't make anything. And if you think, oh, that is bad, if I look that, it is not good for me, that way you can't have a liberation or the transformation, or you can't have a change to become a better person. So have the wisdom and do things with the exact right reasons. So you add that also with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, being patient, and you add the kindness to that, and you add the wisdom to it. Not with the outside things, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind practice. And then another thing is that is very important. Those are these four qualities that in the beginning with the first, the sermon that Buddha used that to give the Dhamma to this 5 ascetics. And see that from that 5 ascetics, that today around the world, each and every person, most of people listen to Buddha's teaching, but they start with the 5. So in that, for that 5 ascetics, this first group, that the Buddha gave these skills to develop themselves the Dharma. Another one is, you have to be skillful. That is very important. So what does that mean? That is the very meaning of Vipassana. You have to develop a very critical, analytical mind. So that is where you become skillful. So otherwise, you don't develop your creativity, you don't develop your mind, you don't understand how things come to be as they are. You may just do things but you don't develop any. So what is the, so when it come to with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that sometimes in the beginning you being patient, you being kind, you have the wisdom, but still sometimes just closing your eyes itself, maybe it's not going to help for you. And because your sansar, through the sansaric journey, your habitual pattern is so, the deeper, this current so strong. And maybe in that very level, you have to develop some kind of mental skill yourself to avoid that current. So maybe reflect on the danger. If you see that, what will happen? Or maybe that another thing is that maybe you recognize the way, the why you have to waste the time to see this. And sometimes you have to understand, if you're going to see that, maybe it's going to take you to another thing. So like that, you have to use different skills, not for all the time. You know, sometimes when you close your eyes and you have a deeper patience and kindness and the wisdom to be there, but sometimes your eyes not going to be there like that, because deeper inside us, sometimes there is a wild animal. And maybe even though we know this, all the good things in the world, and sometimes that wild animal wake up and we have no power over that wild animal. We do all the silly things, dirty things, you know, even though we know this all the Dharma. So that is the moment you have to be very skillful person, not to attach to only one method sometimes. So in day-to-day life, as example, it like this, okay? So I tell you to wash this cup, and then I give sponge and the dishwasher, you know, liquid something, and then you wash it. But there are some dirt. It doesn't go. So then you take the sponge and you rub it. You know, it doesn't go. And maybe you use the cold water. And maybe then you see another liquid, but I didn't give it to you. And maybe you just keep rubbing with the sponge. But sometimes if you use your nail and little bit, you know, scratch it, and then it's get loose, release. And maybe you use some another method to clean this. So that is a skill that you self to clean this. So otherwise, if I give you, you know, sponge and liquid, and then you keep rubbing, and then it doesn't go, and then you keep it there. Why? Because then you say, oh, it doesn't clean. So that is where that most of time our mind, you know, it's funny sometimes, you know, people come to temple and they bring flowers. So, and then what happened? There are, you know, and when they come to temple and when they bring the flowers, they go and take a new vase and then put the water and kind of, but they come and they put, you know, the flower to this here, you know, with the same vase, and they put somewhere, it's like, you know, just put it there in front. And sometimes people bring the flowers bouquet and just keep it in front of the Buddha. And sometimes when they put the water, you know, they open the hot water and put the hot water to that. See, that means they don't develop that skill. It's everywhere with us. Sometimes when we say, okay, clean this, you know, they just do it only, you know, surface level, that's it. And if I just tell them, okay, you know, keep the cushions, you know, they put the cushions everywhere. No, you have to develop a skill. When you do something, to recognize by yourself and do your best for that. So with that, and then it becomes a skill. So how you can practice it your spiritual life with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And you develop the discipline to avoid and find the freedom not to depend on always with the sound, always with the sound. And sometimes without TV, they can't sleep. Without music, they can't sleep. Just imagine, without music, if you can't sleep, how, how you can attain to liberation? You know, just imagine, without sound, if you can't meditate. Sometimes people say, oh, Venerable Sir, I need the sound. You know, sometimes they call and ask, are you use kind of like a sound, background sound? I say no. So then I can't. Why? No, I can't focus without sound. See, that if you can't have a free mind without sound, what will happen? Where you go? So in this very lifetime, if you can't take a conscious decision to be free from that all, you know, after we die, we become more weaker than this. So that's why when you have the opportunity, try to take a conscious decision. And with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, find the moment. Don't go with all the six. Get a one and be patient and add the kindness to that. You do it with a good heart, not with very aggressive way. And be wise. You know the exact right reason why you do this. And don't stay on the same method, and try yourself and look different ways. And it's kind of like a develop a kind of like a very tactic way sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes our inner mind doesn't listen to that. So that you have to use the tactics, like when you drive freeways, you know, sometimes there is a one line and other lane is, you know, it's free, but no one go in that way. Everybody go behind this, you know. But when you know, look around, and you have to understand why other line is, you know, other lane is free. Why you don't go in that line? Why you stay behind this? So like that, always look yourself with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. When you try to find the silence, find the freedom, use different skills. Don't stuck with the same thing. If it is work, it is okay. But if it doesn't work, try to change and look a little bit around and see different ways. And that is the fourth one. So use these four things together, and then you will see day by day, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, how you become independent. So that is where deeper your inner desires, you slowly release, and day by day. And that inner freedom will develop the ability of recognition and clarity. So, and out of that, your perception become very clear. And once you have that direct perception, that itself, that your direct perception become your wisdom, recognition, understanding, and that is where your liberation, your transformation, that ultimate bliss of Nibbana can experience right now, right here, within your this very lifetime. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So scan head to toes yourself and say Swapatveva, or be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun. Spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chami sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Maya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Attaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjisami Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vangotu sabba dukkha pancatu. Bless you.